Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into my channel. I think today I wanted to discuss war and why we do it. Why do a bunch of young, brave men and women put their lives on the line to follow basically the orders of the leaders of that particular country? I'm not only talking about America, I'm talking about people in Russia and China and Japan, in Iraq and Afghanistan, in France and Europe, all the 22 countries in Europe, Canada, Mexico, South America, all the countries in South America. I mean, why do we as a population go to war? What motivates us to even do it? Why do we listen to a bunch of guys or women who are the leaders of these countries? Why do we listen to them? Why do we let them tell us that we need to fight this other country for whatever reason? To me, war should be really not even an option. Unless you're dealing with an entire group of nutty people that just want to kill people. I mean, I can see that as being the only reason we would go to war. It really fascinates me that we as a society will actually listen to the orders given to us by a few people at the top that we either A, elected to put there, or B, were put there through a dictatorship or a military coup or whatever. Like, why do we follow their orders? Especially when they're the ones not even fighting. They have absolutely nothing to lose. They're the ones telling the troops to go out and put their lives on the line because they have a disagreement with the other leaders in the opposing country. This has never actually made any sense to me, especially when, if you look at behind the scenes, how these leaders are around each other, shaking hands, smiling, laughing, and joking and such. But then when they come home, they put all this media propaganda on the internet and on the media outlets, on the news, talking about how bad they are and how we're supposed to hate them and how we're supposed to kill them and defeat them at war. But do you ever see any of these leaders taking up arms? Do you ever see them going out there and leading the battle, leading the march? I mean, if they want to lead so bad, why don't they arm themselves, come out with the troops, and join us on the battlefield? I don't understand that. It's like we're being played like a bunch of pawns. It's like, okay, I'm gonna sentence these 2 million troops to go fight with these other 100,000 or 200,000 or 3 million troops, and I'm just gonna sit at the comfort of my home, and then I'm gonna give a speech every once in a while why the war is important and why we need to do it, at the same time while pocketing checks from military lobbyists and weapon makers and such like that. So what I'm trying to understand is, why do we listen to these leaders? And I'm not just talking about America, I'm talking about to everybody else in the world. Why do you listen to your leaders when it comes to war? Especially when you don't even know all the facts. We know that our governments lie to us daily. It's almost a daily thing now. They lie, we catch them in the lie, nothing happens, they don't get in trouble. We know they accept money from corporations. They don't listen to our votes. They basically just tell us to do what they feel is right for the country, and then we end up just, like a bunch of zombies. We listen to them and we go to war, and then we die doing what they told us to do, and then we end up killing people that we regret killing. And it's just, I just don't comprehend that. It doesn't make sense to me. Um, I don't know. It's just it just doesn't seem logical. It doesn't seem right. I mean, if I walked into a room and I brought in a bunch of guns and I handed you all guns, and then I told you we need to go to war with the town next to us, I mean, are you gonna do it? I mean, aren't you gonna ask why would we do it? Is that the last, is that the only option we have? I mean, why is this so difficult? Why do our militaries, like why do we lack the ability to put ourselves in other people's shoes? I mean, if we didn't have governments and we didn't have leaders, do you think we'd just all be sitting around at a table and suddenly decide, hey, you know what, I think we should go invade country A and, kill their people and blow up their infrastructure and everything, and for no particular reason. Do you think we would actually do that? I mean, when we look at war, all we see are politicians talking to other politicians from other countries, or we see leaders from other countries talking to other leaders. They can't solve their differences, so the last resort is war. And then so they order a bunch of young, brave men and women to go to war and support their idea as to why the other country should do what they want us to do. It doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. I don't comprehend the rationality behind it, especially now that we have the internet and we have all the alternative media sources where, we actually see these guys, these world leaders, when they're in the presence of each other, bowing to each other, shaking hands, kissing, patting each other on the back, and then a few weeks later they're at war, and then after the war's over, a few years later they're back again, patting each other on the back, and they're like, it makes you wonder what they talk about behind the doors, like, oh, how many guys did you lose? And I'm like, oh, I lost this many. How many did you lose? Oh, I lost this many. Ha 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 ha. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, look at the photos that I'm putting up while I'm talking here. Even the Taliban's been in the White House. CIA created Al Qaeda. It's there. You have freaking John McCain with a bunch of terrorists negotiating whatever. And even you terrorists that listen to your leader. Your so-called leader who asked you to die for Allah. I don't see your leaders dying unless we specifically go after them and we find them and we bomb them, But do you see them out in the field? Do you see them wearing a fucking suicide vest? Do you see them charging a bunch of American troops and getting shot down, mowed down by guns? No, you don't. It's like the same thing with all the leaders. Why do we listen to our leaders when it comes to this? Honestly, I don't think anybody in the world really likes war or even wants to do it, and the only people that ask for war are the ones that get to sit back at in the comforts of their home and listen to what happens in the war on the news. Because look at Obama, he doesn't know anything unless he sees it on the news. Here you have Hillary Clinton shaking Putin's hand and stuff. She's the same one who says, what does it matter how they died in Benghazi? That's Hillary Clinton for you. And that's how the mentality of all these leaders are. They don't give a shit about the troops. I mean, if they really cared, and if they really felt that strong about their ideas and that war was the only way, don't you think they would be picking up guns and, leading the battle out on the field? Don't you think they should be the first ones doing it? Well, I came up with an idea. I came up with an idea. How about we just take the leaders and put them out on the battlefield? How about we do kind of like what was that movie called? Oh, The Hunger Games. Why don't we just take all the leaders that want to go to war, and how about we just drop them on an island? We'll give them weapons, and whoever wins, they can be the victor. And then they can make up their rules, and then, of course, we don't have to listen to their rules. We're the population, we outnumber them. I mean, honestly, I can't really think of anybody I want to go to war with in the world today. Basically, in any country that has problems, even with America, when I try to put myself in their shoes, I can totally see why they hate America. All they see are American drones and shit bombing their towns and cities, killing a bunch of innocent people and stuff. I mean, we've had it happen here on 9/11, but I can understand where the hate comes from. It's from the propaganda and the media and all this bullshit, you know? But do you ever see your leaders out there fighting? Do you ever see them fighting? No. You know how far they go to go to the fight? They go behind their podium. And then they speak a few words and they tell you how brave you are for sacrificing your lives and how great you are for giving up your lives, you know, and giving up time with your family and giving up time from all the stuff you could be doing. Why they get to sit in the fucking office behind a desk, you know? So I don't know. That's my frustration with it. And I know this video, my little rant here, will probably reach a lot of people throughout the world. And I'm just asking you to think about that. Why do you listen to your leaders when they tell you to go to war? Sometimes you probably go to war with people you didn't even know you had a problem with. You know, just like after 9/11 when Bush wanted us to go to a war with Iraq. They pumped all this propaganda into the media and all this bullshit. Oh, they have weapons of mass destruction, and they're going to give these weapons of mass destruction to the terrorists. And then here we find out 10 years later there were no weapons of mass destruction. Here we had a war that was basically meaningless. It didn't do jack shit. It didn't solve any problems. It didn't solve terrorism. It didn't get rid of it at all. Then we went to Afghanistan, and then we got rid of the government that was there, and we put in a puppet government. You know, it's kind of the same old thing. How many troops did we lose? We lost thousands of troops, of course. And where's the Bush family now? You know, they're on their ranch, riding around on their horses, and they got millions of dollars in their banks from the oil companies and from all the lobbyists. You know, they didn't sacrifice one damn bit. You have Dick Cheney, who fucking skipped everybody on the heart transplant list and took a heart of a healthy young person that was meant for another healthy young person. He never put his life on the line. He never fucking... You know, the only gun he ever shot was the one he shot his own lawyer in the face with. It just drives me nuts. I wish everybody around the world would kind of actually think about it. I'm like, if you never had a problem with another population, why should you listen to your leader and pick up an arm and go fight? What's the point? It doesn't make any freaking point whatsoever. That's why I'm saying, let's see how eager these leaders would be willing to go to war if we could just, you know, pick an island and put them all on it first. Let them fight it out. Let that be the first part of the war. You know, we can still have war after that if you want to. Let that be the first part of the war. And then we can televise it too. You know, we can televise it. We can see what they're going through. And how about we take their friends and families too, and we put them on the island as well? Why don't we take the friends and families of these leaders, put them on the island, we'll give them guns and stuff, and then they can have the first part of the war. We could call it the pre-war games, you know? See who wins that one first. Kind of like in, you know, your sports when you have your pre-season games, you know, to see who possibly might have a good team, you know? We can advertise it and stuff like that, and we could talk about it, you know, because, you know, these leaders, they like to talk tough. They really like to talk tough, but I don't think they are that tough. You know, Putin likes to show off like he's really tough, and Obama does some pathetic attempts like doing photo ops, doing push-ups, or like when he was in the gym lifting weights, 5-pound weights on each arm. I mean, you have these weak individuals telling you need to go pick up a gun and go fight somewhere for some stupid, insane reason. Like, we don't know. And then I can guarantee a year from later they'll be shaking the hand of that leader whose troops killed 5,000 of your troops, or vice versa. So, I don't know. That's my little rant. you can leave your comment below what you thought about it. So, thanks for listening. I'm going to be coming out with some other videos and stuff. But please leave your comments below what you think about it. And thanks for watching. Alright, bye.